get started, let's take a moment to center in. Come to your back. Come to lie down all the way on your back. And then once you arrive on your back, pause here. Find a comfortable position. So it could be knocking your knees in and letting the feet go wide. Or it can be bringing the soles of the feet together and knocking the knees wide for a Baddha Konasana shape. Choose what you'd like to do with your arms. It might be a cactus shape or a T, or maybe just one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. If it feels okay for you, close your eyelids down. Take a few deep breaths. And start to really arrive on your mat in this practice. Feel the weight of the body supported by the earth. And as you breathe, notice the expansion in your lungs. Notice how your chest and the belly are expanding. Invite that expansion into the back of the body. Expand through flaring through the sides of the ribs, the backs of the ribs. Really inviting that three-dimensional breath into your practice today. If you know Ujjayi breath, you can start that now. Ujjayi breath is where there's a slight little constriction in the back of the throat, the epiglottis. And when you breathe in that way, it's like you're kind of pulling the breath down the back of the throat, dragging it down. So start to really work your Ujjayi breath in this moment. It'll start to become slightly audible. Work to make the inhales the same count as the exhales. So breathing in for maybe a count of 4 or 5. And then exhaling for that same duration, 4 or 5, as the navel softly pulls towards the spine. Notice how you feel, how you're showing up on your mat today. Begin to release any breath that is held in your lungs. HA. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the breath out. Hold empty for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze your breath out and hold empty for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. Core contraction. Inhale. Hold at the top. Controlled exhale. Squeeze the breath out, hold empty. Take a full breath in. And a big expansive breath out. And begin to bring your legs back to neutral, whatever that means for you. And start to windshield wiper through your knees. So bring your knees side to side and back and forth. Warming up through the low back, through the hips. And when your knees land over towards the right, pause there. Let your knees stay there. Cross or hook your right ankle on top of the left thigh. So you have a little bit of an extra pull here in the twist. It's kind of like giving yourself an adjustment. Breathe into the left side of the body. Notice the expansion on your left side. Stay heavy through the left shoulder blade, shoulder bone on the earth as you stretch your left hip across the body towards the right corner of the mat. Inhale, pull your left knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around your left thigh. Use your right hand. Widen your right thigh bone away from you so you have a little extra stretch here in the hips. Flex your toes back towards your ankle. Breathe. You can bend and straighten out through the left knee if that's interesting to you. You could play with a little rock side to side and left to right. That might feel nice as well. Or just stay in stillness and breathe. Take a full inhalation. And as you exhale, release your hands from your left thigh. Bring your legs all the way over towards the left. Your left hand can grab the top of your right foot. Engage through your right glute. Send your right knee towards the ceiling. So you're looking to open through the hip rather than collapse into something like eagle legs. You're not doing that. You have an open hip, still the same kind of figure 4 shape. Engage through your core. Bring your legs all the way back through center and just unwind. So we're going to do the second side. If it feels really tight in your hips, windshield wiper a few times. Otherwise, just come straight to the left. Hook your left ankle on top of the right knee. And breathe. Your gaze can be neutral towards the ceiling, or you can be looking towards the right. This time noticing more of an expansion along the right side of your body. Inhale and pull your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around your right shin or right thigh. Use your left arm, widen your left thigh bone away from you for more sensation. Flex the feet back, specifically the pinky toe side of your foot. Breathe. And take about 2 more breaths here. Now release your foot or your thigh. Send your legs all the way over towards the right. Use your right hand to grab the left foot. Send your left knee towards the ceiling, engaging through the outer left glute. Your gaze is either neutral towards the ceiling or towards the left. And breathe deep, full cycles of breath. Engage through your core. Inhale, bring your legs all the way back through center. Unwind, ground your feet. Either windshield wiper or skip it. If it feels tight, you're welcome to do that. Come back through center. Now stretch your right leg high to the sky. Interlace your hands around your right thigh. Stretch your left leg out long on the mat. You can always keep the leg bent if you feel really tight. That might feel better. Otherwise, elongate out through your left leg. And take some nice big circles through your ankles. I'm doing both feet, but you could always just do the right foot if doing both at the same time feels a little challenging. And take those circles in the opposite direction. Good. Pause here. You can stay where you're at, or maybe you play with coming all the way up. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Walk your hands up the back of the calf or maybe to the heel, and bow your head and your shin towards each other. And begin to release your shoulder blades back down towards the earth. Bend your right knee, pull it way in wide towards the armpit. Your right hand is now coming to the outside edge of your right foot. You could always modify by grabbing your ankle or your thigh. Half happy baby. Keep pulling your foot down as you press your foot up into your hands. And if you had a strap, you could use the strap here because we're going to pulse from going to a bent knee to a straight knee. So begin to expand out through your right knee joint. Both legs are straight-ish, and then bend it back in. And if this makes your left hip like completely lift off the ground, just bend your left knee and it will feel more stable. And then expand out wide towards the right. So you're just kind of pulsing with this straight bent knee, not holding straight for too long. It's still early in the practice. Warming up through the inner thigh. Next time your leg is straight, let it stay straight. Bring your leg all the way up through center. If you can't hold your foot, again, a strap is an option, or just grabbing your shin, you could do that too. Bring your left hand to the foot, shin, strap, whatever you can grab. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Now, the thumb is coming into the hip crease, and the fingers kind of wrap around the outside edge of the hip. Push your hip down, not just towards the bottom of the mat, not towards the ground, but towards the foot of the mat, towards your feet. And guide your right leg across the body a little. A little is an important part of this. So if you go too far and the hip lifts, you lose it. The hip needs to stay down, and then you can kind of floss it, bringing your leg slightly across the body and then back. And you're looking for a sweet spot that is stretching what's called your IT band, connecting the outer knee to your outer hip muscle, your TFL, your tender fascia latae. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, release your arms to a cactus or T. Twist, roll all the way over towards that left hip. Options. You can stay straight through your right leg, or you can bend your right knee. Use each exhale to really melt your right shoulder blade down. This is a deeper twist than how we began. So just work with it. Breathe. Begin to now cross your knees, stack your knees, and bring your arms way wide. So the right knee is over the left knee. Now your right arm is going to come underneath your left. Bring the backs of your forearms to touch, or modify by giving yourself a hug. So inhale, open up, lengthen, bring your fingertips towards above the head and your toes towards the earth. You have a little back bend here in your low back. Exhale, contract. Elbow towards knee. Inhale, reach it long, open up. Exhale, curl, elbow to knee, contract. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, contract, elbow towards knee. 3 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pulse. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract and hold it, trying to make elbow to knee contact for 3, 2, 1. Release your arms, keep your legs crossed, but if you double wrapped like I have, unwrap that double wrap. Bring your hands to grab for the outside edges of your feet, down towards the bottom part of the foot, towards the heel. So your hands going under the foot, touching the bottom of the heel, and your fingers are grabbing the outside edge of your feet. This is a supine gomukhasana form. If it feels way too tight, again, just grab your shins. That's always fair. And you can play with bringing your feet farther away from you, towards more of like in line with the knees, the ankles in line with the knees, Or you can pull your heels way towards your sit bones and explore how this shape is landing in your body. Take a few deep breaths. Notice how you feel. Notice the expansion in the hips. Breathe into it. And unwind, release. Straighten out through both your legs and just pause, noticing how you're feeling just from left to right. Second side, flex your toes back, reach your left leg up, interlace your hands around your left thigh. From the pelvis, expand out long through the legs, out through your heels. Create some nice big circles through your toes in one direction. And take those circles through the toes, through the ankles in the opposite direction. As you stay really strong through the legs, press the right thigh bone down, lift your shoulder blades off the mat, walk your hands up the back of the calf, maybe bring your hands to the heels. And eventually, your forehead may touch your shin, it may not, it doesn't matter. Press your right thigh bone down, take an inhale. Exhale, release your shoulder blades back to the earth. Bring your left hand to the outside edge of your left foot, bend your left knee, and pull your left knee way and wide towards your armpit. As you pull your foot down, at the same time, kick your foot into your hand, creating a sense of strength while you lengthen. The right thigh is ideally pressing down into the earth, nice and strong. Breathe. Straighten out any amount now through your left knee and bend your left knee back in. That's the motion. You straighten out to whatever feels like your edge and pull it back in. Keep feeding your lungs a deep, full breath. The breath is really this finite form of consciousness. The deeper we breathe, the more it can kind of pull us into the present moment. Begin to bring your leg all the way back up through center. Switch your hands. So now the right hand is on the foot, shin, or strap. Left hand comes to your hip. Bring the left thumb into the hip crease. Your fingertips are wide towards the bum and cross your left leg just over your body, a touch. And you can always pull it back a little and then cross it over, looking for, again, that sweet spot. And breathe. And take an inhalation. And as you exhale, twist, roll to the outside of the right hip. And that left knee can stay straight. It does not have to, but it's an option. You can always bend the left knee if it feels like it's a little bit intense of a outer thigh stretch. Inhale. Begin to bend the left knee, stack your knees so your left knee is on top of the right. Bring your arms wide, bring your left arm underneath the right. Bring the backs of the forearms to touch or your hands to touch. You can always double wrap the feet as well. Take an inhalation, open up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, open. Little baby back bend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, open up. Exhale, crunch. Just 3 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow towards knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch it in and hold it for 3, 2, press that low back down to the ground. 1, release your arms and your shoulder blades to the earth. If you double wrapped, unwrapped, and bring your hands to grab for the outside edges of your feet, the heels. And breathe. Take a moment to just reflect on how you showed up on your mat today and how you're feeling right now in this moment. Breathe into the sensation you're noticing in the body. Slowly release, unwind through your legs, ground your feet. Now this one will feel a little bit better if you do have a block. So grab a block if you have it and place it underneath your hips. Place it either on the medium setting or the lowest setting. So it's like a constructive bridge pose, but we're stretching our hip flexors. If you don't have a block, you can still stretch your hip flexors. It's just not going to feel as intense. Pull the right knee way in wide towards the chest and then go wide towards the armpit. Stretch your left leg out long and point through your left toes like you're trying to ground your left heel down. So your left leg is really strong, but you're also working to expand out from the hip, through the thigh, out through the toes. And release. Second side, pull the left knee in, pull it way wide towards your armpit. Stretch your right leg down, ground your right heel, and point out through your right toes. Ground both feet. Lift your hips up, move that block out from underneath you. Pull your knees in, bring your hands behind your thighs, give yourself a little momentum, and rock your way all the way up to a seated position. As you land in a seat, expand out through the knees a little, but there's still a bend in your knees. Bring your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot. Press your foot firmly into the hand, and at the same time, give a little pull back into space. As you press your foot forward, it's as if you were accelerating on the gas pedal. As you pull your arm back, you're meeting that tension with resistance. Breathe into the back of your body. Release. Second side, left hand to right foot. And again, find that active push and pull. As you begin to meet resistance in your body, breathe into that resistance. And release your foot. Come to a tabletop position on your mat. Spread nice and wide through your fingers. Pull back through your fingertips so you're nice and active through your hands. Start to create big circles through your shoulders, but you're also bringing these circles into your hips. So you're creating what is called the circumduction spinal movement, and also getting a little bit of warm up through the hands. We use our hands so much throughout life, and we don't really give back to them. Take those circles with the hips and the shoulders in the opposite direction. Check in with the quality of your breath. Is it still deep and full and consistent? Quarter turn. So now your fingers are facing the long edge of the mat. Shift your weight side to side. And as you shift towards the left, make your gaze towards the left. As you shift towards the right, gaze towards the right. So lateral glide with, again, a little wrist opening. One more quarter turn. Face your fingers towards your knees or at an angle, whatever feels like you can get there in your body. Stay strong through your hands, so you're pulling back through your fingers. And rock, weight forward and back. Maybe the heel of the hand lifts. You can also play with cat and cow, rounding through your spine and opening up to extension. Reconnect your hands facing forward on your mat. Lower your forearms to the mat. Pause here, stay strong through your core, round through your spine, find a deep full cat spine, puff up into the back of the body. Now slow and controlled, inhale, tilt your sit bones to the sky, slowly make your way to a cow spine, shift your shoulders up by the ears as you melt your heart. In the yoga world, we call that side body long, and it gives you the ability to open up through your thoracic spine, your upper mid-back slightly more. Inhale, round, puff up into the back body, cat spine. Slow and controlled, gentle tone to the navel as you vertebra by vertebra melt your way all the way through to the cow spine. Last time like that, inhale, round, puff up into the back body, cat. Exhale, slow and controlled, tilt your way all the way through to cow, melt your heart. Come to a more neutral position. Walk your knees back into space. Ground your hips. As you ground, tug your elbows back, pull your shoulders back. Bring your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Tuck your chin down towards your collarbone. Bring your left ear over towards your left shoulder and lift your chin towards the ceiling. And then rewind, take that big circular motion in the other direction. And breathe. Come back through center. Pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Feel your hamstring engage. Bring your left arm in at a diagonal. Reach your right hand around to grab for your foot thigh stretch. So a lot of people grab for the outside edge. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's available to you, you can keep pulling so you have heel to sit bone almost contact. Bring your hand to the big toe side of your foot and maybe you flip your grip. Give a little kick of your foot into your hand as you pull the heel towards the bum. Now I know it's not that easy to see online. It'll be a little easier to see it on the other side based off how I'm facing you. Spin your inner body more towards the front of the mat. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, release, let it go. Second side. Pull your left heel towards your bum. Reach your left hand around to grab for the foot. So as you flip your grip, the fingers go way out towards the left, and then you eventually flip your fingertips forward. Spin your inner body more towards the front of the room. And breathe. Press your right toes down into the ground to stay stable through the right leg as you open up through the left front of the thigh. And release your foot. Sphinx pose. Press your forearms and your knees into the mat. Lift through the sides of your waist. Puff up into the back body. A little bit of core here. Keep the shoulders stacked just over the elbows. So it's kind of like a plank on your knees, but there's more rounding happening in the spine. Exhale and lower your hips down, pull your heart through. So that's the motion. As you lift up, the pelvis tucks. Inhale, lower your hips, pull the heart through. On your exhale, use the exhale to kind of press the earth away, puff up into the back body. Inhale, lower your hips, pull it forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, lower. Exhale, round and puff up into the back body. Just take 3 more like that. Move with your breath. The exhale is bringing you up, and the inhale brings you down. Notice if your shoulders are moving. Get in the habit of looking at where your body is in space as a way of checking your alignment as you move through this practice. Hold it on the last one when you rise up. Tug your elbows back into space. Feel the core really start to build some heat here. Lengthen through the sides of your neck. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ground your hips. Soften your chest towards the earth. Bring your arms to a cactus shape. Walk your left hand fingertips in towards your face. Start to pivot to the outside edge of your right hip, so you're stretching through your chest and your right arm is still at a cactus. Pull your left shoulder back into space. I will do it opposite so you can see what's going on the other side. Maybe you bend your left knee and plant your foot on the ground. Maybe you don't. It's also okay to have your legs straight. So much of this practice is really just a way to discover our body and our minds. And the greatest way, the greatest path to get there is really through authentic expression, authentically moving ourselves in more of like an intuitive way. Come back through center and just second side. So you're coming back to that cactus and rolling over to the outside edge of your left hip. And breathe. Come all the way back through center. With the arms at a cactus, set up for anchored back extension. So tuck your toes. A little bit of a different setup than you're probably used to. Roll your inner thighs towards each other. Squeeze your inner thighs. Keep the knees down. Come on to tentative fingertips. Now lift your arms up. Lift your feet up to just a little hover. Keep the knees down. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. And the last thing that lifts is your hands. Send the hands higher to the sky. Bring your elbow tips down slightly. Squeeze your inner thighs. Hold it. Anchored back extension. Keep flexing your toes down as if a flexed foot, as if you were like walking on the ground. Okay, so it's a flat foot. Inhale, get a little bit more lift. Hold it. Exhale, lower down. Tap your feet and your hands on the earth. Pulse it. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap. 3 more, lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Lift. Hold it. And lower, let it go. Take a few moments to just breathe. Slow down the ripples of your breath. Feel the beat of your heart. Bring your hands by your chest. Inhale, rise up through a cobra pose. You can come as high as you would like with the pelvis heavy on the earth. Pull your shoulders back. Exhale, take it all the way back, child's pose. Toes together, knees hip distance or slightly wider. Press your hands into the mat to get your hips on your heels. Bring your forehead to the ground. Breathe. Breathe into the full of your lungs here. Thread the needle. Weave your right arm through the left. Find a little shoulder stretch. Press your left hand into the mat and tug the right arm back into space. Breathe. Come all the way back through center, second side. Weave your left arm through the right. Shoulder stretch the other way. Come all the way back through center. Rise all the way up. And come to a seat. Shift your hips off all the way to one side. As you land in a seat, bring your legs out wide. And if you were to bring your legs as wide as they can go, bring them in a little bit. So that's as wide as mine go. I'm going to bring them in maybe 6 inches on each side. So you could use a water bottle or you can use a block for this one. It is challenging. We're working on strengthening your hip flexors. So you'll place the block on the medium or the highest setting. I do these quite a bit, so I gave myself lots of length. Point through your left toes. Now lift the foot, bring it over the water bottle or the block, and bring it down. And then your opposite leg, same thing. Lift it up, bring it over and down. It's easier the more narrow your legs are. So if you're having a really hard time with this drill, try just bringing your legs to a more narrow position. And you can always not ground the heel as well. You can almost touch the ground and then come back up. So move through these at your own pace. Notice if you're leaning way back to lift your leg, and see if you can get a little bit more forward on your sit bones as you lift. And you can explore any which way to do these. I have no specific rhythm I'm doing, just kind of exploring it. If you want more of a burn, stick on one side and try to do like reps, like you're doing maybe 5 or 7 with that without that heel ever touching the ground. And then you'll go to the other side. And if that feels like too much, alternate between legs. There is always something for you in this practice. If it feels really impossible to even lift your heels off the ground, know that if your foot is lifting just a little inch or even a millimeter, that the muscle's still doing what it's supposed to. All right, enough of that. Take a wide-legged fold. Come all the way down. If you have a bolster, you're welcome to use it. You can also just rest your arms on a block. And breathe. Come all the way back up. Pull your right heel in towards your pelvis. Bring yourself a little bit more over your trunk, over that left leg. Bring your fingertips to the earth. Take an inhalation. And as you exhale, come forward. So you could use the block again, resting your forearms on a block. If you are pretty open, you may bring your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot. Your left hand fingertips will come to the outside edge of your shin and thigh. Take an inhalation, get length. Exhale, pull yourself deeper to a forward fold as you twist over towards the left. And again, find the expansion in both the inhales and the exhales. Inhale and start to rise all the way up. Bring your arms up. Ground your right hand, lift up into a stargazer pose. You're on your shin. Open up your heart from your right collarbone. Ground down into the arm, into the earth. Ground your hips back on the earth. Second side. Bring the opposite leg out. Opposite leg in. Bring yourself to twist upright over your extended leg. Take an inhalation and exhale, fold. This time left hand to the right foot, or opposite side if you do the opposite, and just keep working the inhale to get length and the exhale to find compression and twist. Pull the right side of your belly up and away from your thigh. Inhale, start to rise all the way up. Reach your arms up. Ground your left hand. Lift your hips up. Bring your hips forward. Open up from the left collarbone. Stretch down and out through the arm, through the four corners of the hand, into the earth. Bring your hips all the way back down and come to a seat. So cross-legged, you could also sit up on a block or a bolster, giving yourself a little bit of height. That might feel nice. Bring your hands down on your knees. Readjust your posture. Close your eyes for a moment if that feels okay, if that feels safe for you today. Otherwise, just let your vision blur on the earth. And take a moment to watch the breath as it moves in and out of you. Watch the inhales stretch down towards the middle or the pit of the belly. And watch the exhales as they travel way out in front of you, about a foot. Let go of any constriction in your breath. And just let yourself be. Notice the heaviness and the earthiness in your pelvis. Lengthen up from the stability all the way out through the spine, through the crown. I'm going to pull you out of it in just a minute. Just keep following your breath. If you notice thoughts coming in, rather than forcing them out, just acknowledge what they are and let them drift away, like a cloud drifting over you in the sky. Begin to blink your eyes open. Take any movements that you may like, maybe a twist, maybe not much at all. Join your hands at Anjali Mudra by heart center. Anjali Mudra, a prayer, a symbol of offering of reverence. May this practice be really a big, shining light into our inner world that also expands to our external world. Take a breath in. And a big exhale, release. Join your thumb at your third eye. The light and the dark in me bows to the light and the dark in each of you. Namaste.